I wanna know what derp is. I want Nit to show me. Welcome back to the channel, lads and ladies. Welcome to the super derping, super Pershing M26 E1-1 experimental field modification of the M26, an already somewhat underpowered medium tank compared to the competition, and yet overdue, and crank in an extra long gun to boot. You find yourselves with the Super Pershing, a sluggish, heavy, derpy, hard-hitting American heavy tank at 6.3 battle rating in War Thunder, now finding itself in Weeb Town, as you do, just putting holes in everything. First off, taking down a Panther F, no issues. Now, getting an engine shot on the Jagdpanzer. Jagdpanzer? What's the deal with me tonight? It's the sore on my tongue. It's like on the back side of my tongue, and it's just killing me. Yeah, that's right. Don't any of you guys kiss me. I get sores in my mouth every now and then, and it is the worst. I didn't even do anything fun to get it. I was just born getting cankersaurus ever since I was a little kid. It's terrible. Anyway, it could be a lot worse. In any event, Nit now pushing up on the most hotly contested point perpetually in this map. Interesting audio I'm getting there from the boards falling on my head as Nit takes down yet another Panther. Always a popular tank around the 6.0 battle rating. So far, many of his opponents being lower than his own BR of 6.3. That's an interesting question. Could the Super Pershing be a 6.0 tank? No, it's fair at 6.3. It's a rough spot for it. It's a very competitive battle rating. There's a lot of stuff that can just lull in your armor. And yet, at a lower battle rating than the M26 E1 that doesn't have armor plates strapped onto it as a medium tank, in the premium side of the American tree, the 6.7 American M26 E1 with that same long 90mm cannon is a lot of fun to use, as the mobility of the tank makes up for its lack of armor, at least in terms of a medium tank. It's not by any means an especially mobile tank, but you guys get the impression. It's time for a levolution here on the Japan map. That maybe, just maybe, that round should have punched through Nippon plywood to take down that Panther from the side. I think so. You don't even need to make them destructible, just allow rounds to pass through them, please. If it can go through a tree, I feel like it should be able to go through what is essentially a very beautiful, probably handcrafted wooden fence. Anyway, maybe someone would find that offensive, to be able to knock over a holy building, as even those majestic concrete cats seem to be standing up fairly well against enemy bombardment. But I don't think Shinto would mind too badly if Nit had an opportunity to perforate some Panthers, but what do I know? In any event, Nit already managing to tank quite a few hits, taking some damage to his crew. I'm hitting the O button to look at the at the X-ray when I know full damn well that I'm in my editing software. I'm not watching this live as I'm recording. What a foolish man I am. Anyway, Nit, as you do, performing well as a heavy tank in a full down tier. Now, with a chance to shoot at a Tiger 2H, finally punching above his weight, and the angle on Tiger 2's turret is just a little bit too much for his gun to punch through, with around 200 millimeters of pen on the APHE round, and the Tiger having close to that amount when his turret is angled. It's a tricky shot, almost one, not worth taking, but you miss every shot you don't make, so that is a call you have to decide on. Also, the way that the fences, the destructibility in this Japan map could use an update, to be sure, but it has been great to see destructibility being updated on a lot of other maps, and I'm sure there will be an update for this one as well. It always feels satisfying to have this big, huge gun on your vehicle with an actual ability to punch through what should be soft cover. A lot of things turn into soft cover when you have a 105mm cannon at your disposal. Nit just a little bit too slow in letting his shot loose, misses out to an ally who takes the opportunity before our guy, but with already a ground ace and no deaths other than the very sleepy crew members in a part of his turret. Nit showing off what the Super Pershing can do in a down tier. This is one of those tanks that is kind of a lame duck once you get up into 6.7 and 7.0, even 7.3, where every other heavy tank outperforms the Super Pershing in pretty much every way, with perhaps the exception of the Tiger 2 having about as garbage mobility as the Super Pershing. And in a straight line, going downhill, the M26E1-1 is not absolutely terrible, but get to a hill and you find out what that strapped on extra armor and extra thick 90mm gun does to your mobility. The M26, again, a medium tank that was by no means excellent in mobility to begin with, although a reliable platform, more or less, by the time it entered service. The modifications made to this particular tank probably didn't do it any favors. However, in the game of War Thunder, one man's folly is another man's treasure, as the War Crimes Panther gets taken down by a side shot that even a Sherman could manage with the short 75, but how satisfying to see a thick 90mm round go slipping in through those side skirts. Ooh. Anyway, Nit with 6 kills and a cap at this point in the match, surviving nicely, and once again, in a down tier, the Super Pershing is not a terrible tank. It might be worth it to throw it into your lineup, if for nothing else, for that long 90mm cannon, the high velocity American 90mm with its very hard hitting APHE round, and the ability to punch through most armor that it will commonly face. Nit, don't push forward yet. Wait till... Oh, it's a regular Tiger. Never mind. Laugh at him. Slap his books out of his hand and steal his lunch money. We were talking about vehicles that don't do well in an up tier. The Super Pershing definitely being one of them. And the OG Tiger certainly in that category as well. Nit, giving the man some time to think about what he's done. He's picking on this nerd. Just kill him, Nitty boy. Just get down to the nitty gritty. In any event, with a complete bullying of the enemy for his 7th kill, Nit continues to dominate the field in his own special way. Beautiful tank. And now, moving on. Yeah, that just happened. This is a public service announcement. Do not hesitate. Do not lack. Do not hold back in adding a flak to your lineup. What even is this called now? The something 341 something dark side something complete. I remember this as the Coelian, so let's call it that, shall we? This is not the particular purpose of this video, but this is a public service announcement in between replay videos to tell you, do not hesitate to add an SPAA to your lineup. If everything goes wrong, if things go south, at least you can sit in your spawn for a minute and try to shoot down aircraft that are sure to be buzzing you and yours by the time things have gone terribly wrong, especially if you're in a German team with American prop heads flying over you all the time. The Coelian, a good example of an AA platform that can perform a multi-role, as we managed to bounce a shot with our surprisingly good armor. SAV-20, Sweetie Boy, meets his match in a vehicle that has a slightly higher fire rate than him for once. In any event, just that is enough to allow us to respawn in a better vehicle, and that's the point of this part of the video. Don't be afraid to throw in an SPAA, because it is almost like a chance to respawn. It's like that mechanic in Borderlands. Fantastic. We can't shoot that out of the air. That is a glitch. But in Borderlands, and there was even a mechanic in, I think it was Call of Duty back in the day, where when you get knocked down, if you killed somebody, you can get back up again. And in the famous words of Chumbawamba Tub Thunder, I get knocked down, but I get up again. Ain't never gonna keep me down. And as I mentioned before, you miss every shot you don't take. The Coelian, capable of giving you another shot after all of your decent vehicles get taken down. And even though it's not the monster that it used to be, light-skinned targets, enemy aircraft, don't mind if I do. And the armor, not terrible either, a rare thing on an SPAA, something that I would like to see more of. Hashtag put the skink in the game. It's been available forever. We need to get that thing in the game. Hashtag let my skink AA. I don't know if that's the best hashtag. Anyway, this has been a public service announcement in between replays for you all. When things look dire, it's always helpful to have an SPAA in your lineup, because then, I know a lot of you guys don't like the SPAA, but give it a shot. And with 1100 score and 3 kills, not only were we able to contribute to our team, almost taking down that M56, but then we can jump into something that should be a lot more fun. In any event, speaking of a lot of fun, SPC returns, this time bringing us the reason the AMX-30 Super is called Supel. So, this absolute chad of a medium tank that's really a German flavor added to a French export vehicle. The AMX-30 Supel is superb. Oui, ha. With everything, every cancerous feature that turns War Thunder into a point-and-click adventure that you would expect out of an 8.7 9.0 premium. I'm not even sure what the battle rating is on this thing. But you have, and count them with me, Long Dart APFSDS that punches through everything you'll face, for the most part. You have extreme high velocity cannon that can point and click out to 2 or 3 kilometers. You have a laser rangefinder, point and click to get the ability to just not miss in 2 seconds or less. You have top of the line mobility. You have a gun stabilizer that's not available to any other AMX-30 model. You're welcome. You have thermals. You have a premium vehicle that's better than every regular tech tree counterpart, and you have the future of War Thunder, lads and ladies. You have what is essentially a very high tier premium to bring you into the top tier meta, if not the top tier battle rating, show you how to show the enemy the meaning of pain. In the ultimate pay to win battle rating, the ultimate pay to play battle rating, SPC punishing 4 enemy tanks in rapid succession as quickly as BL can ram loads into the breach. Where was it going with that one? SPC is just wrecking the enemy team, punishing them for their lack of map awareness. These enemy vehicles should have seen him coming, and indeed they did not, until we come to this hero Leo meeting SPC, where he can be found seconds out of the man's spawn. SPC's team completely committed to not pushing forward the way SPC did, and yet such a good opportunity to put the pressure on the enemy. At the same time, now with 3 allied vehicles, none of which providing SPC support right now, the enemy team is playing very aggressively. We take a peek around to see outside the smoke what is going on, and the smoke has cleared away. SPC is still on the repair. A cannon breach in inoperable condition, made worse by another round to come into his tank from yet another, looks like the Leo 120 Premium. Of course it is, because this is premium tier War Thunder. SPC incredibly gets the repair on his cannon breach in time to take down the Leo. Gets shot by a helicopter ATGM because, of course. All of this proving why I'm going to sell my Merkava Mark II. I really don't want to be involved in this particular shit show. And yet, StalinsPimpCane showing us what you can accomplish if you learn to play that point-and-click adventure well, taking full advantage of his stabilizer, using APFSDS the way you do to needle the enemy right in their sensitive bits, playing Call of Duty Thunder, as it were, the fast-paced first-person shooter that this game could be, if that's the tier you want to play. And you know what? More power to you. I call it a shit show. I say it's not for me because that's my own viewpoint. But I understand that other people enjoy this part of the game. I actually appreciate that there are a lot of premium vehicles available at around the same battle rating and around the same effectiveness to introduce people to more modern vehicles in War Thunder. And I also think it's too bad that they're priced so highly. I think around $35 for the packs would be a little bit better. In fact, if they didn't bundle them at all, because the 2,000 Golden Eagles or so and the 15 or so days of premium time, if I want those, I'll buy them myself, thank you very much. But it makes sense. It is what it is. And what I'm saying is that there's a place in War Thunder for this. There's a place in War Thunder for modernized variants of the former top-tier style vehicles that lead into the new top tier. And since War Thunder becomes a point-and-click adventure, reflexes and strategy game, which is all very valid, that is a game that can be enjoyable. It's not really for me. My poor feeble heart just can't take all the drama. But I encourage any of you that want to get into these high-tier premiums to check them out, to consider things like the AMX-30 Super. I think it really is a fairly well-balanced vehicle against what it faces. It does tend to face a whole bunch of other premiums of the same style. And you know what? If everybody's paying to get to that part of War Thunder, then it kind of makes sense to have them all in the same room. And if they don't know how to fight properly, and they just angrily slap at each other, well, at least everybody's on the same page. Then you get to experienced players like SPC that feel like treating themselves to a premium version of a beloved vehicle with all the best and latest in technology available to that particular chassis, and what you have is the makings for some extreme shenanigans. SPC having pushed his vehicle to the limit time and time again, surviving hit after hit and getting kill after kill, gets a hard hit on yet another enemy Leo. And do my eyes deceive, or is that the cannon breach of 120 millimeters? Premium tier, 8 kills, 2 base caps, showing us why the AMX-30 Super is called Super. In any event, I hope you all enjoyed these replays, and feel free to send in your own replays. Link to my Discord in the description below. That is the best place to get in touch with me for any reason. And you can just drop your .wrpl file from your War Thunder replays folder right into the chat for me to take a look at myself. Bye-bye.